to get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, don't tell them what to say. Tinfoil haters are here to save the day. To get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show.
Welcome back to Tinfoil Haters. How are all you vital idols doing? It is still that time. It is the spooky season. It's Halloween month. So, all month long, we digging into much more the supernatural, the creepy, the kooky, the altogether ooky, and taking a back seat on the more government-oriented conspiracy stuff. And I figured, we got to do werewolves, bro. We got to do werewolves. And we brought on just the guest for that. Before we get into him, my co-host, the partner in crime, Sammy 3P. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Sammy 3Pete. I have a show called Tinfoil Haters that I do every Tuesday. And then I also have a Batman show and a news show, which might be moving. We'll discuss that later.
You'll love to see it. And, of course, we could not do this without some female representation. Cinevere, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Yeah, we have DEI up in this bitch. How's everyone doing today?
DEI. Yeah.
I'm doing okay today. I am ready to get started. I want to have AJ teach us about all the werewolf stuff.
And that's the thing. Our guest of honor is a real life werewolf himself, our boy Abomination AJ. Tell the people who you are, what you do, and why we chose you as the guest for this episode.
Man, I'm the Abomination known as AJ, and I am a werewolf. Sure, you can't say that too loud. The one with the government on my ass, dissecting me and whatnot, and then using my black werewolf blood to make super clones, to take over the world.
So we're gonna get into all that and more. Again, seriously, shout out to AJ for joining us. Before we do, we gotta call y'all out in the chat. We gotta call out the tinfoil haters today. But first, we have the pre-stream legends. Our boy Girthy Banana came in with a super sticker. Another super sticker, and a two bangers as have your favorite monkey. So of course you know that when people be dropping the monkey, this is what you get, Girthy Banana.
That's stupid. You're stupid. Stop being stupid.
And then a boy Jake Martin coming in with a $10 super sticker. That hippo pulling the Ash Ketchum, putting the hat on backwards. And Jake, you know what you're gonna get, my man. The same thing you always get. Your clip.
Chip, you know what? You just made the list. Oh, no. Oh, here we go.
All right, shout out. And, of course, we have Sergeant Guillotine in the house. Holler with Nad saying no AJ fake news. Wrong. AJ is, in fact, here just like a regular woman. You were wrong. What a shock. Bio T-Wolf is in the house. Enzo is here. Divina Duckworth, how you doing? You love to see it. We got Dex, our best mod in the whole damn land. Crovax is in the house. Wyron of Bly, a.k.a. Wheels. How you doing, Wheels? Let's see who else we got. I know we got more. Again, thank you so much, Girthy Banana. It is truly appreciated. Alfredo Chorizo is in the house. Gal Carrymon is here, throwing up the tinfoil hat emojis. Philip Morgan, you'll love to see us. Shout Philip Morgan. Of course, Cindy will be pressing buttons and talking to you guys on the back end. AJ is in the chat and here with us as well. Luigi Frankenbob, or Frank Bob. Luigi Frankbob. I like Frankenbob better. Is here. Shout out. Is there anybody that we've missed? The Stream Elements bot. Thank you so much for reminding me that you exist. Emily Kruger's in the house. Matt Fun Cool. Hello, all. And Cinevere, shout out. Werewolves, fuck yeah, we're doing werewolves today. It's gonna be Very interesting show. Kage of Chaos is here. Yo, Alex Darby coming in with 5 gifted Words of Paradise memberships. Shout out. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and let's give you a clip. You know what? Alex Darby, we're going to give you some Blazing Bigots.
What did you expect? Welcome, Sonny. Make yourself at home. Marry my daughter. You've got to remember that these are just simple farmers. These are people of the land. The common clay of the New West. You know. Morons.
Some Atreyan representation, and you love to see it. Soul Assassin's in the house. How you doing, Soul Assassin? Butter, framed in gold, says he smokes rocks. I'm not surprised by this. Obi Dean is here. Shout out, Obi Dean. How you doing, my man, with a plan? Jamma Lama, Leon, Sammy, Cinny, Enzo. Well, no, Enzo. This is AJ. This is the black Enzo. The black, skinny, well-fit dog training Enzo. Alrighty. Shout out. I do believe that be everybody. Let's get into the content. First of all, AJ. So we're done. We talking about werewolves. We're talking about the history of werewolves. We're talking about whether or not we think they exist, whether there's any evidence that they exist. We're going to go over some potential convincing werewolf footage. But I want to know what how you got started on the werewolf train.
That's crazy. I was always into the dogs, training the dogs. So I've always had great interactions with canines. I would watch the Discovery Channel, and then eventually like Nat Geo Wild with my dad. And we was like always watching animal shit. And I love the wolves, the family unit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody contributing to the pack, and the well-being of every individual. And crazy shit going on in life. And then let's just say I identified with the werewolf. A werewolf represented a lot that I was going through with. It seems like you're this thing, you're this entity, you think this way, and then it kind of affects negatively a lot of the relationships around you, like a werewolf would affect the people around them. But they feel like they ain't had no control over it. You know what I'm saying? The moon come out and we just go crazy, we go wild. Don't be prey when the shit happens. So werewolves were fucking dope. And man, just the animalistic nature. And then every time I saw a vampire, something in me just was innate. I just cringed. And it was just disgusting. I hated it.
That might be one of the most base things you ever said. Just, oh yeah, no, I cringe when I see vampires. But so let's go around the horn, and AJ, we'll start with you, and then we'll work our way up to me at the end. But whether you do or don't believe in a real life werewolves, do you or do not believe in them? So AJ, do you think werewolves truly exist?
Damn straight. Besides me, I definitely believe there are at least wild people out there. And I think like the mascots, like people create gods based off of these animals, and like we in America, yeah, we're like mascots, we're like basketball teams, football teams, like sports teams. It's like something about these animals, like statues of them, to where people like revere these things. And yeah, bro, I think we're taking on a lot of their characteristics. I think it's possible.
Oh, it's a totally fair answer. Cindy, what about you? Do you believe werewolves do or could exist?
I don't know, because I only read about them in books. I never considered that maybe it might be like a real thing, you know?
Sammy, what about you?
If I do, it's more in like the psychological aspect. I don't think that there's like actual lycanthropy where people are turning into like 8-foot wolves. But I also think that, plenty of people might have like a wolf totem or something like that. And I mean, I've met tons of people who have like connections to, they're drawn to certain animals. And also I'm not willing to wear anything out, but I never in my experience with anything paranormal have I ran into anything that remotely resembles a werewolf besides AJ.
So, well, I guess that leaves me. As for me,
Gotcha.
I think it's sort of a mixed bag thing. Do I think that there's such a thing as werewolves, as in humans that transform themselves into animals at the full moon or whatnot? I'm hard pressed to believe that, because I don't think there's any science to back that up. However, what I do believe in for example, is, let's say, Mothman. I've already made it clear that I do believe in the Mothman. I think there's evidence to back up the Mothman. And one of the things about the Mothman being a cryptid, there's, the idea of it being an interdimensional being. So are there, these sort of half-breed man-dog creatures that could be, from alternate dimensions that might slip here into our world from time to time? I suppose that might be possible. I don't know enough about it. I want to look into it more, but I mean, it does strike me as strange that we've had werewolf style lore since, the BC times before Christ, dating back 6,000 years at this point. I mean, there's got to be a reason that the humans have always had this sort of identification with this kind of creature. So I'm on the fence about it, but I do think that there's some possibilities. So we're going to get into the history of werewolves. Before we do, Bio Team will come in with that two-banger. Vamps do suck on veiny meat. Go Team Werewolf. That's certainly a sentence.
I'd fuck one of the robot dogs.
Thank you much, brother. Truly appreciated.
How my team just gonna deny my existence, like in my face, like that?
What?
I said, how the team just gonna deny my existence?
I had your back. I said you're the only one I know.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing. So I think I gave a pretty well scientific balanced take as to how werewolves could potentially be a thing. In fact, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the history of werewolf, the legends of werewolves. And we'll go through this a bit, academically, and we'll get some thoughts. Any point you want to jump in, anybody, just lay it on me. So werewolf legends. It's unclear exactly when and where the werewolf legend originated. Some scholars believe the werewolf made its debut in the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is the oldest known Western prose, when Gilgamesh jilted a potential lover because she had turned her previous mate into a wolf. And this is not the first time that Gilgamesh has come up on Tinfoil Haters. You'll find that's a running theme. This is at least like the third or fourth time. Werewolves made another early appearance in Greek mythology when the legend of Lycan, according to legend, Lycan, the son of Plesiogus, angered the god Zeus, who served when he served him a meal made from the remains of a sacrificed boy. As punishment, the enraged Zeus turned Lycan and his sons into wolves. So obviously, that's where we get the term lycanthropy. King Lycan. So this is, and this tale alone is, I believe, was 2800 BC. So we're talking thousands upon thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Werewolves also emerged in early Nordic folklore. The saga of the Volsungs tells the story of a father and son who discovered wolf pelts that had the power to turn people into wolves for 10 days. The father-son duo donned the pelts, transformed into wolves, and went on a killing rampage in the forest. Their rampage ended when the father attacked his son, causing a lethal wound. The son only survived because the kind raven gave the father a leaf with healing powers. So what are we thinking here? We've got 3 different old societies that all have their own variations of the werewolf story, but in the olden variations, it's not a man-wolf hybrid. It is men literally being turned into wolves. Does that still constitute as a werewolf to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
So even if it's just full wolf form, it used to be a man. It's the fact that it's not like it. So for you, a werewolf can be just basically a wolf. It doesn't have to have any of the human characteristics.
Who you asking, me or
anyone? Open panel, but yeah, AJ, you take priority as the guest, but anyone.
I would say I consider them all. I definitely believe in the supernatural, and there's more than one way to skin a cat. There can't be one way across the many cultures that have werewolf mythology. So I like to believe that with different origins, you might take on a different form. I guess at the base is just man that shifts into wolf thing.
Okay. Cindy, Sammy, either of you guys have thoughts?
I think I believe the like mind transfer into like a wolf form more than like this souped up hybrid. Go
on, you can do it. I believe in you.
No, I was done.
Okay, fair enough. Cindy, what about you?
I don't know. I think as long as it was like a human that turned into a wolf, it fits the category of a werewolf, be it whether or not they can turn back or not.
Okay, now all that aside, why do you think that all these cultures and going as far back as this have these sort of stories and mythos? I mean, again, this is sort of a collective common thing that that humans share, where would something like that come from?
Isn't that if they saw like a more intelligent animal, right? That was the only way they knew how to explain it.
I mean, possibly. I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking. I mean, to me, this is like the Great Flood. You know, every culture in the world has a flood myth, right? Well, the reason is because the Great Flood actually happened. It's called the Younger Dryas. Can you make the same argument for werewolves?
Oh, maybe. Interesting.
All right, you said where did it come from?
Yeah, well, not necessarily where did it come from, but why do you think it is that all these cultures the world over have this sort of similar lore?
Have something in common. So, I guess I remember. I think it was it in mythology class? But anyway, a lot of the creatures that came from Greek mythology wasn't necessarily Greek, but mythology was because they saw like the Sphinx and like these great structures and how they could have been misinterpreted as these things, these creatures. But that's why I said earlier when you was like asking, do I acknowledge those as werewolves? I said there's going to be different origins across cultures. You know, geographically, it's going to be different. So people just, I say revered. I don't want to necessarily say worship, and then it gives them powers because that's going against God in the Christian Bible that I follow. But me believing in the supernatural, I believe just there's something there. I just don't know to what extent. And
Okay.
and how I like to try to justify it is not necessarily people turning into animals, but being able to channel a certain power. Like Samson was super, dope.
I mentioned this earlier, Killer Games Cast. Sorry, continue, AJ.
Yeah, something like that. So I do think I think it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the Gospels, and they're depicted in heaven as these creatures: the eagle, the lion. I think it's the bull, and then the man, which I think is supposed to be the angel. So I think if God can refer to these individuals or allow that to be in the Bible, and read it for yourselves, people. You'll have to go find it because I don't know off the top of my head. But if God can acknowledge these people as these beasts, then there could be something more to that. Like maybe he could give them some power as well if they are worthy or whatever. There we
Sammy,
go.
anything to follow up on, or do you keep going with the article?
No, I think there's a psychological aspect of seeing. It was like if any of you guys have actually seen a wolf, it's not like, oh, that's a big dog. Well, you're like, no, that's a huge animal. Well, it's something to be admired. If you would look to that for their ferocity and their cunningness, and would be like, oh, I would like to be, if I was going to be an animal, I'd like to be something like that. And I like what Cindy said is, you might see a cunning pack of wolves and go like, this is otherworldly, when really they're just really skilled pack hunters and things like that. So but there's also things, people listen to music to psych themselves up before battle. So like, why wouldn't you call upon the spirit of the wolf to increase your ferocity when you're going to fight like a surrounding tribe or an impending enemy? Like these things track, and you can find them in all cultures. It's just, are we actually getting that, and it's getting misconstrued and lost in translation over time? Or are they talking about like true lycanthropy, where they're actually morphing into wolves? I think it's somewhere in the middle, or maybe a mixture of both. But I can definitely see, if you've seen like a cheetah run, you're like, if I was going to ask anybody for help, I would probably ask a cheetah. I'd probably say a little prayer to the cheetah. Or and this is talking from like the early man mind, or how they must have taken in the world. So so you could see that you would get inspirations like this all over the globe, because people are going to be mystified by these animals all over the globe.
Excellent. Well, let's take a look at some infamous werewolves here. Many so-called werewolves from centuries ago were in fact serial killers, and France had its fair share. In 1521, Frenchmen Pierre Burgot and Michael Verdum allegedly, by the way, we're going to get deeper into these guys here in a bit, giggity, in a different article, allegedly swore allegiance to the devil and claimed to have an ointment that turned them into wolves. After confessing to brutally murdering several children, they were both burned to death at the stake. Burning was thought to be one of the few ways to kill a werewolf. So, before we get further into the infamous werewolves, I know you're going to say, oh, we have no weaknesses, AJ, because you want to be a big, strong black werewolf. But in all reality, what in your lore and what you believe for werewolf lore and culture and whatnot are the weaknesses of a werewolf, ways to kill a werewolf? Because everything got a weakness. I mean, for black dudes, it's big ass white women. Everything's got a weakness. So what
That's
is
not
the
across the
werewolf?
board. So all right, a werewolf has a base werewolf first transform. That's when you're your weakest. You have all the weaknesses that can kill a normal organic thing. But over time, being able to increase your powers being in this form, your body gets denser, your sensors get sharper, shit like that. So with time, it becomes harder. You're able to retain more intellect.
No,
Yeah,
well,
but
like, for
we're saying
example, a
silver.
vampire is staked through the heart, right? No matter how strong a vampire is, give or take, it's
I get
staked
what
through
you're
the heart.
saying.
Is it,
I mean,
but is
I
anybody
said
it,
would
the same.
die
would
from a
burning
stake through the
work?
heart.
Would a silver bullet work? Is there anything that, like, no matter the power level of a werewolf, no matter what, this thing would kill it? Yeah, is there anything
Yeah,
like that in your mind?
I said all of those. I said they do.
Oh, okay.
We have those normal weaknesses. It's just harder as time goes on, and a lot of this because of intellect.
Okay. Sydney, you sound like you were about to say something?
Oh no, I was like, anybody would die with a stake through the heart. Like that's that's
Yeah,
not a
kind of a-
surprise.
So, well, Giles Garnet, known as the Werewolf of Doyle, was another 16th century Frenchman who was claimed to fame was also an ointment with wolf morphing abilities. According to legend, as a wolf, he viciously killed children and ate them. He too was burned to death at the stake for his monstrous crimes. Whether Bourgeau, Verdun, or Garnier were mentally ill, acted under the influence of a hallucinogenic substance, or were simply cold-blooded killers is up for debate, but likely didn't matter to the superstitious Europeans during the 16th century. To them, such heinous crimes can only be committed by a horrific beast such as a werewolf. Then we've got the Bedburg werewolf. Peter Stube, a wealthy 16th century farmer in Bedburg, Germany, may be the most notorious werewolf of them all. According to folklore, he turned into a wolf-like creature at night and devoured many citizens of Bedburg. Peter was eventually blamed for the gruesome killings of after being cornered by hunters who claimed they saw him shapeshift into a wolf to human form. He experienced a grisly execution after confessing under torture to savagely killing animals, men, women, and children and eating their remains. He also declared he owned an enchanted belt that gave him the power to transform into a wolf at will. Not surprisingly, the belt was never found. Peter's guilt is controversial since some people believe he wasn't the killer, but a victim of political witch hunt or perhaps werewolf hunt. Either way, the circumstances surrounding his life and death stoked rampant fears at the time when werewolves were on the loose. Now, hearing these stories, and we'll get into more stories in a bit, but hearing these four accounts, did anybody on the panel believe that these guys were actual werewolves, or were they just probably today's version of serial killers and superstitious beliefs just sort of add to their lore?
Well, I never like it when there's a confession under torture. That's never great. But yeah, it's the modern day witch hunt. Whether this guy killed him or not, because like I said, someone starts sticking bamboo under your fingernails, you're gonna tell them whatever you want to get them to stop. And sadly, you'll say whatever you want just to get your execution over with, to get the torture to stop. So that's rough. But yeah, I kind of like the idea that this is like a proto serial killer, and we just hadn't had a name for it yet. And this is a monstrous time to be alive with
Yes,
persecution
it is.
like that.
What about you, Cindy? Do you believe that there's a chance that any of these men could be actual werewolves?
I mean, everything's I don't know. I've just never heard any myths about werewolves before, but like I'm compelled to want to believe, but I don't know if it's just because like I like these kinds of things or not.
And last but not least, you, AJ?
I think there's truth to everything, but for the most part, no. I think they were just serial killers. Like I said, people adopt.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. You did say that.
Yeah, they adopt the behaviors of animals or creatures to try to invoke some type of power. So I can definitely see that. You're just savagely killing people. If I'm gonna look, not because of me being a werewolf or anything, I just think normal me. If I'm about to kill somebody, you're gonna try some shit out. Like they gonna come and get you. You about, go out with a bang. So
See, I understand. That's why if I ever, like commit suicide, it'd be like suicide by cop because I want to go out with a bang and like give those boys a show, So like, yeah, I understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
So the shapeshifter as werewolf. Some legends maintain werewolves shapeshifted at will due to a curse. Others say they transformed with the help of an enchanted sash or cloak made of wolf pelt. Still, others claim people became wolves after being scratched or bit by a werewolf. And in many werewolf stories, a person only turns into a wolf when there's a full moon. And that theory may not be far-fetched. According to a study conducted at Australia's Calvary Mater Newcastle Hospital, a full moon brings out the beast in many humans. Study found that of the 91 violent acute behavior incidents at the hospital between August 2008 and July 2009, 23% happened during the full moon. Now, talk to any nurse or any cop or anybody that is around people. They will all tell you the same thing. Full moons do something to humans. They do.
Yep.
Anyone on the panel that doesn't think so.
No, I completely believe in lunacy, and I also believe that when the temperature is over 98 degrees, it's you also get similar effects when you're working with people. It's a shorter temper. I don't know what it is.
Well, see, AJ, what do you think about this?
I don't think it's lunacy, or maybe it could be if you don't control those powers, but cosmic energy is real. What source is that? I don't know, but it affects the world on a, like a physical scale. I'm sure it affects the spiritual.
Oh, I'm sure it does too.
As well.
Yeah.
The mystical,
having worked late at night, I can say the full moon definitely works on people for some reason. I feel like the crazies always come out during that day.
Oh yeah.
Man, literally the other night, I was walking to the gas station, because I live real close. So I was walking to the gas station. I was going to get like some fucking vodka or something like that. And I remember looking up the sky and noticing there was a full moon. And like, I cognitively thought I need to hasten my step. I need to get back to the apartment and whatnot. I don't want to be out here right now. And like, I don't know what caused me to think that. It was just an inherent thought that popped into my head. Like of no, again, conscious decision. Yeah, the full moon definitely does have effects on people. Whenever I stream and it's a full moon, it was like I've always just got this sense that it's not going to be a good stream, that something's going to go wrong or whatnot. So yeah, I mean there's 100% a metaphysical aspect, in my opinion, to the effects that full moons have on humans. I don't even think that's up for the debate at this point. Patients attacked staff and displayed wolf-like behavior such as biting, spitting, and scratching. Although many were under the influence of drugs or alcohol at the time, it is unclear why they became intensely violent when the moon is full. Now, I'll be real. I've gotten into plenty of fights while being a drunken asshole. I've never once been, bit or scratched a motherfucker. So,
Yeah.
maybe it's just me, but I don't think alcohol makes people just start biting and scratching. Have you guys had that experience?
No.
No.
Are werewolves real? The werewolf phenomenon may have had a medical explanation. Take the Peter the Wild Boy, for instance, in 1725. He was found wandering naked on all fours through a German forest. Many thought he was a werewolf, or at least raised by wolves. Peter ate with his hands and couldn't speak. He was eventually adopted by the courts of King George I and King George II and lived out his days as their pet in England. Research has shown Peter likely had Pitt-Hopkins syndrome, a condition discovered in 1978 that causes lack of speech, seizures, distinct facial features, difficulty breathing, and intellectual challenges. Other medical conditions that may have encouraged werewolf mania throughout history are lycanthropy, a rare psychological condition that causes people to believe they're changing into a wolf or other animal, food poisoning, hypertrichosis, which is a rare genetic disorder causing excessive facial hair growth, which we've all seen this, right? Hypertrichosis. Yeah. We all, this is like the actual wolfman people. They grow the facial hair. It really is hair all over their body. Rabies, hallucination possibly caused by hallucinogenic herbs. Throughout the centuries, people have used werewolves and other mythic beasts to explain the unexplainable. In modern times, however, most people believe werewolves are nothing more than pop culture horror icons made famous thanks to Hollywood's 1941 flick, The Wolfman. Still, werewolves have a cult following. Werewolf sightings are reported each year, and werewolf legends will likely continue to haunt the dreams of people throughout the world. But let's talk about some of these werewolf sightings. In fact, let's talk about that first one from the previous article, because this one is a bit more detailed, and it's quite interesting. Some of the stuff that was not mentioned in that history article. So one of the oldest known werewolf stories is the Chalons werewolf, pretty strange tale revolving around the French tailor named Michael Verdun. Back in the early 1500s, circa 1521, Verdun was accused of luring, torturing, and murdering young women, and even cooking and eating them afterward. To make matters even worse, the residents of Chalons-et-Champagne believed Verdun would transform into a beast at night, wreaking havoc and spreading fear throughout their community. But what exactly fueled their suspicions? Well, it was all those mysterious disappearances, people vanishing without a trace, and unexplained livestock deaths. Cattle, sheep, pigs, and even horses were dragged out and partially eaten by an unknown beast. Given that not many animals could easily carry a cow or a horse, the locals were convinced that a werewolf was causing the trouble. After a few weeks, some neighbors started suspecting Verdun. Something about him just wasn't right. He was reported and eventually arrested. And according to a handful of surviving documents preserved in the city archives, Verdun confessed to his horrific crimes after being tortured, a brutal yet all too common practice at the time. He allegedly admitted to a pact with the devil. He was also implicated his friends Pierre Brugot and Philibert Montot in the story, claiming that all three would gather in the forest at night where they practiced witchcraft and transformed into werewolves. Now, interestingly, Verdun did not attempt to justify his actions, and he showed absolutely no remorse. Instead, he allegedly threw a curse on the entire town, vowing to return from the dead to haunt anyone who dared witness his public execution. Verdun's trial was swift, as you expect in those times. He was condemned to be burned at the stake, which was a typical execution method for anyone accused of witchcraft and sorcery back then. However, on the day of his execution, it reportedly took several strong men to drag Verdun to the site, all the way to the pyre. He fought with almost inhuman strength, and he kept swearing and cursing the crowd that had gathered to watch. But shockingly, after the pyre was lit, instead of crying and screaming, Verdun started laughing, and he kept laughing until his body was reduced to ash. Whether Verdun possessed any supernatural abilities, his story remains one of the most infamous werewolf stories ever. Now, with this added context to the Verdun character that we talked about a little bit ago, what does that make you think?
Oh, it takes a lot of self-control to continue laughing on a pyre until the finale. But a lot of cases like this, when you find someone is having like a manic episode, they're incredibly strong. Or it was like when guys are on like PCP, it takes like 4 full-size men to like take them down. So if you have a crazed individual, especially in a very superstitious crowd like that, I mean, it might end up looking supernatural, or maybe it was. But I'm saying it was like he obviously sounds like he's off his rocker, and a little bit spiteful to boot. But if I knew you were going to set my ass on fire, I wouldn't be doing you any favors either.
We're going to skip the woman for a moment because we're misogynists. AJ, what about you?
Man, I think he could have called upon the powers of something, and it gave him, like not necessarily a wolf spirit, but just a savage spirit. That's all I believe. And
Interesting.
like Sammy said, with the manic episodes, like I've had to work with people like that, and when people use when people realize what they're capable of and actually go for it, man, we're capable of great things. So yeah, you fuck some people up in the process, you can be hard to handle.
What about you, Cindy?
Oh, could you imagine like how many nightmares these people had just watching this guy not act normally? Like, oh my gosh.
Set a motherfucker on fire and he just giggles.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's laughing. they made it very clear he laughed until he turned to ash. I was like, that's really sticking to the bit.
Oh yeah, like that's terrifying to have witnessed. Go ahead.
Well, and that's I'm actually with I'm with AJ on this one. And I don't know that the guy was a werewolf, but I actually do 100% believe there was some devil worship and some witchcraft going on, which I do believe in the powers of that stuff. I mean, look, I've made it very clear that I'm a Christian individual, and there's a lot of biblical stories and frankly, firsthand accounts and relatively what seem to be faithful accounts of individuals who, both on the sides of good and evil, get some sort of powers or whatnot. So if you had these dudes out doing witchcraft in the forest, I don't know if they had the magic ability to turn into wolves, but I definitely believe there's some Satan in them. So I think it was Rex Vectum earlier said that, the dude was a true motherfucking demon. If you've got 4 strong, burly men trying to carry you to a pyre and you're fighting four dudes, a pretty Yeah, that's a lot of dudes. And then
Yeah.
you're laughing while you burn to the crisp. This is after you've admitted to practicing witchcraft. Yeah, I do believe there was probably some evil supernatural shit involved in this. I don't know to what level or to what extent, but I do think that some of that probably was real, even if you couldn't actually turn into a wolf.
Man, people, it's like if you believe in God, you got to believe in the devil, and God allows the devil
Right.
to do things. And to what degree, I don't know. I guess that's arguable, but I mean, what links will the devil go to like get his point across or to show what he's able to do? So, yeah, man, monstrous, demonic people out here. I'm sure.
Well, let's skip to another one of these. Let's do a different one. This was this one. Yeah, from '88. So the Moorbach werewolf. The next werewolf story. The legend of the Moorbach werewolf comes from Willitich, Germany. During the turbulent Napoleonic Wars in 1812, a notorious deserter, Thomas Johannes Baptista, and his marauders were wreaking havoc across the countryside. They looted, plundered, and left destruction in their wake. One day, Baptista and his crew attacked a small farm, killing the farmer and his wife in cold blood. Before the farmer's wife took her last breath, she reportedly placed a curse on Baptista, dooming him to walk the earth as a beast until he paid for his crimes. Shortly after this attack, locals began to report eerie occurrences. Villagers claimed they saw a massive wolf-like animal in the nearby woods, something far larger and more menacing than an ordinary wolf. Plus, the monster was allegedly impossible to kill. In a desperate effort to protect the town, a priest lit a candle at the Kruiswagen Chapel, a small secluded shrine near Wittlich. The legend said that as long as the candle stayed burning, the Moorbach werewolf would remain at bay. And for years, the candle burned without fail. The terrifying sightings of the creature slowly disappeared. Locals believed the threat had been neutralized and life returned to normal. Until May of 1988, so we're talking nearly over 100 years later. Almost
How big is this
years
candle?
later. What?
How big is this candle?
Right? On that night, the candle mysteriously went out. Not long after, the villagers started reporting strange happenings once again. Dead animals, large tracks leading to the woods, howls at night. To make things worse, several people swore they saw a large animal around Kruiswalden Chapel. The sightings made the community panic, and the candle at Kruiswalden Chapel was relit. Since then, no additional reports of the Moorbach werewolf have emerged, but the legend lives on, leaving everyone wondering what happens if the candle goes out again. Is there belief to this story?
Has the candle gone out since?
Yeah, so it wasn't listed in this article.
I like it. I buy it.
Cindy, AJ?
I'm gonna look it up.
I
Alright,
say candle
sounds
shit, no. Big wolf, big monstrous creature, yeah.
Do you believe it was this guy, that it was a curse, that the curse was real, or?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because again, I said earlier, I acknowledge all forms of werewolfism. It would be like colorism amongst us blacks if I did not acknowledge their existence.
Well, Cindy, have you found any information on whether the candle ever went out?
It
Again, I
doesn't.
should say.
It doesn't look like they covered it. Like anybody's actually checked.
Interesting. Well, might have to do a secondary dive on that. But before we get into the potential, real sightings, which I can't wait to go over with you guys, I want to talk about one other thing. I want AJ's thoughts on this. Obviously, I want everybody's thoughts, but I want AJ's thoughts on this because I don't know if you would consider this a werewolf or not. But this is one of my personal favorite cryptid stories here in America. The legend of the Beast of Bray Road, the wolf-like creature said to prowl the Wisconsin countryside, also known as the Dog Man. Has anybody here heard of or familiar with the Dog Man?
That sounds familiar.
I've heard of Dog Man.
Excellent. Witnesses who've allegedly encountered the Beast of Bray Road described as tall and hairy with glowing eyes, long claws, and the stench of rotting meat. So the rural community of Elkhorn, Wisconsin runs Bray Road, a 17-mile stretch of thoroughfare dating back to the colonial times when it was known as King's Highway. Like many roads in America, it's generally unremarkable, except for the terrifying creature supposedly lingers in its vicinity. The first sighting of what's come to be known as the Beast of Bray Road occurred in 1936 when a night watchman for the nearby St. Coletta School of Exceptional Children was crossing the fields. He saw what he described as a hairy humanoid creature standing between 6 and 7 feet tall, closely resembling a wolf or a bear. Its speech was half beast, half human, and the watchman caught the strong scent of rotting flesh. He never saw the creature again, but the experience stuck with him for the rest of his life. That wasn't the first, but that was just the first of many encounters with the Bray Road beast. Throughout the 1980s and 90s, more witnesses would come forward claiming to have encountered the Wisconsin werewolf, each with their own theories of what it might be. So the first encounter of the beast of Bray Road was excuse me, the one that we just went over. A small rural town, picturesque and charming with a population of roughly 6,500 in 1936. As author Linda Godfrey wrote in the book The Beast of Bray Road, Elkhorn was known as the Christmas card town. Surrounded by a rich prairie and dotted with cornfields and dairy farms about an hour's drive from Madison and Milwaukee, it was an almost idyllic place, not the sort of setting you'd hear about in a true crime podcast, for instance, but something would change the town of Elkhorn forever. Enter Mark Shackleman, the night watchman at the Catholic convent known as St. Coletta, the very same St. Coletta where Rosemary Kennedy was housed after her father, Joseph Kennedy, had her lobotomized for agitated depression to combat her sometimes violent mood swings in 1941. Around midnight, Shackleman was, no kidding, right? Around midnight, Shackleman was walking through the fields near the school when he saw something perched atop a nearby Native American burial mound. It appeared wolf-like, yet standing upright, and appeared to be clawing at the ground. Shackleman approached the creature to get a better look, but it fled. The following morning, Shackleman told his wife about the creature, describing that its thumbs and little fingers appeared shriveled, notably shorter than others on its hands. During the daylight hours, Shackleman returned to the mound and discovered raking marks in the dirt. After dusk passed and gave way to night, Shackleman returned to the mound and once again saw the creature. This time, however, it did not flee. It stood and faced Shackleman, who later estimated it had to be nearly 7 feet tall. He said the creature was covered with dark or black hair, gave off a bad odor like long dead meat, and eyes that looked right into me, and it made a sound. All 3 syllables growl. And I mean something like, AJ, do you want to give us your best werewolf of whatever this sound is?
No, carry on.
Good. With an accent on the second syllable. Mark Shackleman was in his mid-30s, a strong, capable man, and a former heavyweight boxer. But the encounter made the hairs on his neck stand end to end. Then I did the only thing. This is a quote from him. Then I did the only thing I could do. I prayed to God to save me, and it turned and slowly walked away. For a long time, I stood there. That bad smell hung in the air, and then I said another prayer of thankfulness. I never saw a thing again, or anything even like it. Some who had heard Shackleman's story assumed the creature must have been a hellhound, a creature often found in ancient European or biblical literature. The growl of a hellhound was once described by writer Bob Trubshaw as a halfway station between articulate speech and silence, filled with emotion and power, but utterly lacking reason. Then there was what Shackleman had heard the creature say, Gadara, which shares an uncanny resemblance to Gadara, a site mentioned in the Bible as the location in ancient Judea where Jesus exorcised a demon possessing a man coming from the tombs, just as the creature Shackleman saw had been clawing at a burial mound. Now that is an interesting tidbit.
That is pretty sweet, actually.
Like, this is 1938 America. You're a guard for a Catholic school. You see what you perceive as a hellhound more so than a werewolf. It says Gadara, and that is, while he's on an ancient Egyptian burial ground. Lo and behold, in the Bible, Gadara is a tomb for which Jesus did exorcise a demon. That's pretty, interesting, if nothing else. I don't know. What was you guys' thoughts on that?
Demon, not werewolf.
I mean, is it possible that werewolves, could be demons?
Some are, and yes, demons speak, man. Demons know the Bible better than us. Demons live through that shit. So, and then God has angels. Satan has his own little entities, his henchmen. And who's to say that demons aren't animalistic or animal-like?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's very likely they are oftentimes. Even among believers, though, this hellhound explanation for the Beast of Bray Road carries little credence. Rather, it highlights how the creature seemed to defy explanation. When presented with something beyond understanding, it's often easiest to compare it to what you do know. In any case, Shackleman's story ends there. The creature he saw atop the burial mound vanished for a time, or perhaps simply lay in wait, as nearly 50 years after Shackleman's encounter, stories of the creature once again began to surface. Subsequent sightings of the Beast of Bray Road. Throughout the 80s and 90s, sightings of the Beast of Bray Road rose in prominence, though mostly seen around Elkhorn. Locals also reported sightings of the beast as far as Walworth, Racine, and Jefferson County. The first of these recent encounters with the so-called Wisconsin werewolf occurred in the fall of 1989, around 1:30 a.m. Lori Andreezy was driving home along Bray Road from a lounge in Elkhorn called the Jury Room, where she worked as a manager. There, off to the side, she saw a massive creature, its back turned to her, but as she continued along the road, she glanced back and caught it from the front. It was kneeling, she said, Elbows were up and its claws were facing out, so I knew it had claws. I remember the long claws. And this is an artist's rendition of what it could have been.
Oh, wow. That is creepy.
Yeah.
I love it.
What do you think of that? AJ, is that a werewolf, true and blue to you?
That's what we gonna call it.
Is there a difference between werewolves and cryptids to you?
What is a cryptid?
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I mean, since cryptids, quote unquote, aren't real, they're pretty hard to define. When I think of cryptids, the defining factor for me is that like there tends to only be one of them. Like there seems to be one Bigfoot. There's one Mothman. There's one Yeti. Like whereas werewolves are more like vampires or zombies when it comes to monsters. Is that they're more of a species, but that's just my the way I think of it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's correct.
I think
No, I buy that though.
I would say cryptids are special. Like they're rare. They're like one-offs, even amongst normal supernatural creatures. But I wouldn't say every cryptid is like not normal. Like I believe there's more than one Sasquatch. Like the Loch Ness monster being like a plesiosaur, like some type of dinosaur. Like I think there are real world explanations for stuff. We just don't see it. Like I don't know who's been on the African safari. I haven't. I know people have, but it's like we really want to know
I did the African safari right at Disney World.
Okay, well, I'm saying an actual African safari where you see these animals, or like if you don't see them at a zoo. I'm like, unless it's been brought to our attention, or we lay eyes on it, or we're told, then we don't know what the fuck's out there.
Well,
I've never been to India.
I was on stream with Niet recently, and he brought up something brilliant, something that I didn't know. Did you guys know that platypi were originally considered cryptids?
What?
People had heard stories about platypi, about the platypus for years, but they had never actually seen one. It wasn't until like the 1800s they were officially recognized, they were officially discovered. We're talking about a mammal with a duck bill that lays eggs. Like by all accounts, this creature shouldn't exist. It's living proof God has a sense of humor. But
and isn't it bioluminescent or something, or like it glows?
Yeah, it's also venomous.
Yeah, it's venomous. It's venomous, and so Nia was telling me, he's like, yeah, people believe that platypi, a platypus, were cryptids until they were officially discovered. So I mean. And again, that was only like in the 1800s or something. So who's to say that there's clearly still stuff out there that we have not discovered?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're especially in Australia. I think they discover like a new species of spider like every single year.
Well, not just that, but they rediscover animals they thought were extinct constantly.
Like the coelacanth. The coelacanth was thought extinct for a millennia, and they showed up in a fucking cave in the 1930s.
There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say about the what did you just ask about? Yeah, the platypuses.
Platypus?
Because I don't believe in platypi and cacti and shit. I think I maybe had heard that people thought they were cryptids and like watching some like facts about them or some shit. But yeah, since we were alive, they've been an established species. So it's like I didn't hear it and never thought, oh, that was like it didn't cross our minds that, oh shit, maybe these things are mythical. Like, yeah, we knew what they were.
I just feel bad for that one drunken Australian guy just trying to tell everybody about the furry duck.
Well, no, but Niet made another good point. He's like, think about a unicorn, right? If you take all the magical shit aside, look at some of the real world animals we have. The idea of a fucking horse with a horn really isn't all that goddamn crazy. I mean, think of an octopus. What's crazier, a fucking octopus or a horse with a horn?
Or an octopus with a beak?
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like when you just put them side by, when you take away all the magical shit about a unicorn, that sounds like just a normal fucking animal. Rhinos have horns. Why can't a horse?
That might have been the description of a unicorn. It was a four-legged creature that ran really fast, and it had a horn on its face, but they didn't explain very clearly where the horn was, or they didn't process it very well. Like the first drawings of an elephant were crazy.
Yeah, and it's like what I think woolly rhinos, some ancient rhino species had super long ass horns. So maybe people, I don't know what the first unicorn story came from, or like, written story, but I'm sure there was people drawing terrible drawings of woolly rhinos, and it ended up looking like a horse with a horn. And people was like, let's roll with that.
We'll keep going with the article here. Now remember, she sees this creature. She said it seemed to be holding something between those long claws, roadkill perhaps, but unlike many animals which would turn and run when headlights were aimed at them, this creature instead turned and stared at her. Terrified, Andreezy drove home. Next morning, she ventured to the local library to dig through the catalogs to find something that might explain what she saw. What she found was an entry in the Golden Book of the Mysterious, published in 1976, featuring an illustration labeled Werewolf. It was night, and it was quite late, but I know what I saw, Andreezy said. You don't mistake something like that. To this day, I believe it was satanic. It was just my feeling. I don't believe in werewolves per se, but I believe something could be, well, conjured up. And then 2 years later, another local named Doris Gibson claimed to have seen the beast. It was Halloween night in 1991. And by the way, I checked to see if Halloween night in 1991 was a full moon. It was not. So if werewolves are real and if this thing is a werewolf, they clearly don't need full moons to transform or whatnot, because it was not a full moon on Halloween in 1991. Gibson was driving along the road through the fog when she hit something that felt her front tire lift off the ground. After driving another 50 feet, she stopped the car and got out and assessed the damage. The damage to her car and to whatever she may have hit. There was nothing on the road behind her. As she made her way around the back of the car, it came running out of the woods. Here comes this thing, and it's just running up at me, she said. It was no dog. It was bigger than me. I've never seen a human run like that. My uncle was a track star. Gibson quickly got back in her car, slammed her foot on the gas, and at that same moment, the creature copped to her car and landed on the trunk, only sliding off because it becomes slick in the rain. Gibson says she felt she could have been dinner had the beast caught her, but she managed to escape. Except, later that night, she saw it again. She picked up a friend from a party, and on the way home, the friend pointed out the window and screamed, "Look at that thing." Gibson wasted no time in speeding away, and when she got home, she noticed claw marks on the back of her blue Plymouth Sundance. Gibson later described the creature as a freak of nature, one of God's mistakes.
Oh, wow.
So does this constitute a werewolf, or is this its own weird sub-creature?
Skinwalker.
I don't think it's a skinwalker. Skinwalkers don't exist, aren't part of this part of the world's culture.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. This might be something else. Because normally when people say like they have a story like this and we've like diagnosed it as like a werewolf story, they're like, it looks like it was a huge wolf, or it was like it had canine features. Something about it distinguishes it a little bit more.
Well, since we're talking it, we're going to round out the stream with 30 most convincing werewolf encounters ever caught.
Sweet.
And we need to see if we do or don't believe these. And AJ, I know you're biased, but we need you to be intellectually honest here. So let's watch some of these clips.
People love sitting around a campfire and telling stories about mythical creatures like werewolves, but what happens when these beasts step into reality and terrorize us? From soldiers hunting down werewolves during war, to monsters destroying a man's farm, here are 30 most convincing werewolf encounters ever caught. The following footage comes from a German history documentary, and it shows a hidden evil that appeared during the war in 1942. An evil so supernatural that anyone who encountered it was left scarred for life.
Wer sind die Männer in diesem Film? Keine offiziellen Militär.
The soldiers had gotten intel of a monster living in the woods, except that this creature only appeared under the moonlight and devoured anyone who dared stand against it. They had to tackle it in daylight and take down the fabled werewolf.
Die stäblichen Überreste des Remus-Skelettes, die immer noch im Berliner Museum für Naturkunde ausgestellt sind, neu.
They went in, found the werewolf, and shot it. But that was only the beginning of the horror that'd be unleashed upon them, because anyone who looked at this monster would suffer from its vision for the rest of their lives.
Titel Remus Monster, Deutschland, aus den manipulierten Knochen eines Wolfes.
In 2017,
So we believe that. What do you think about that first one? That first video there.
All right, fuck no. It was so dramatic. It was so Hollywood, the way it died, like in that little pose. I mean, it is mostly creature. It's still an organic beast, so it would just go limp and, you know? So yeah, that was fixed to be that way. Like taxidermy.
What about you, Cindy?
I mean, I don't know why, but it just kind of reminded me of, I think it was last week where you had the cows that were just completely dead in the fields and then all the meat was picked off. I don't know why, but it just made me think of that. Creepy,
Sammy?
but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was made for the documentary, but I don't know why, but I feel like I've taken in so much media where there is like werewolves involved in World War II, and I want to I'm gonna do some further reading on that because like I've
funny.
seen
You
it.
don't even have to. I'll explain it. Here's why this is fake, because you are onto something there. This is wartime propaganda. So imagine you are the German military, and not only do you want to pump up how awesome you are, but you want to scare your opposition. You want to scare England. You say that you've got such a badass troop of military dudes. They're so trained, they killed a fucking werewolf.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
So you've got this whole ass documentary that even shows the werewolf's body to prove how badass Nazis you are. Yep, this is wartime propaganda. Because let's not forget, this is a real thing that we do. Even the U.S., the CIA, I believe it was in Vietnam, the CIA ran a psyop that convinced Vietnamese villages that vampires were real.
Oh yeah, they would also do this thing where they would have loudspeakers in the forest because they are very, and you know, they would say things that, you know, like "don't come, we are your ancestors," or you know, or "I'm lost," or things that would just like creep the shit out of the Vietnamese. And I guess it worked in a lot of aspects. And I've heard some of the recordings. They are they're creepy. Like I wouldn't want to like walk into the woods at night and hearing that shit.
Well, they don't know English, so does it even matter what you say?
Well, no, but they're saying it in Vietnamese. I mean,
oh, okay.
You know, but as someone who doesn't speak Vietnamese, I don't want to know what they're saying. It was creeping me out enough to not want to go in the woods.
I was thinking about the opposite of that. Never mind. Don't mind me.
No worries. No worries.
Here's the next video.
A man in Paraguay got a motion alert on his phone from the security camera. But while he initially thought he had a bunch of stray dogs running outside his house, the reality was much more terrifying. The video started with someone trying to fend off a stray dog. However, as they left the frame, the video kept going. And at that point, the man realized there was something else in the frame, and it was approaching quickly. A large, shadowy figure walked into the light, its eyes looking feral, almost as if it wasn't even an animal. However, while the man watching the footage thought he'd seen a werewolf in disguise, many think this was just a strange-looking dog.
What are you guys' thoughts on this one? Because to me, I just see a fucking dog.
Yeah, I don't.
Definitely a fucking dog.
That's just graggly dog. That's nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what sort of legends and stuff or how superstitious they are in like Paraguay or wherever he said this was, but you guys, that's a dog.
Yeah.
It's the same size as the fucking dog. The dog walked up to it like it knew it.
Yeah.
Like it was spread from down the block.
In 2019, a small community in Brazil lived in fear of a beast that appeared one day out of nowhere and continued to terrorize them. That is until one man decided to take matters into his own hands and confront the creature. He followed the beast's footsteps into someone's backyard, and the second he heard the howl, he knew he was at the right spot. Now, all he had to do was buckle up and prepare to face the monster. There it was in all its glory. A werewolf hiding behind a table, staring right back at the man who'd mustered up the courage to fight it. Just when he thought he had the chance to attack, however, things went south.
All right.
Hiking alone in the woods.
To me, that's like the fucking Patterson footage. That's just a dude in a werewolf costume.
Yeah.
That look real to anybody?
No.
Oh, the way
Come
it
on,
kind
I
of
mean,
lumbered
it's-
forward, it just shows that it was more human-esque.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see some real shit. Come on now. These are supposed to be the 30 most convincing. So far, all you've done is convince me that, yeah, werewolves ain't real. All right, let's keep going.
Seems like a fun idea until you come across something that turns it into a nightmare. And that's exactly what happened to this guy, who spotted a creature standing behind a big oak tree.
To me, I don't know if that's its head, a face I'm seeing, or what. Whoa, I just seen something move over here. I hope I got that on film. I don't know.
He hid behind the bushes as soon as he spotted the creature, and even though he was putting his life at risk, he had to follow the beast to get clear footage. The deeper he went into the woods, however, the worse it got. Was it a werewolf or a Bigfoot? He wasn't sure. All he knew was that this monster was on the move, and if he...
Guys, I'm still just seeing a dog. I'm just
Oh,
seeing a
it's
dog
not-
in the woods.
It's not just that. If that was a werewolf, that means it would have the cognitive ability to know that it's being watched by something
Yes.
that's not, or that is probably human. And if you can hear it, it can definitely hear you.
And smell you. And
Yeah.
I barely saw anything.
Yeah, it's not very good footage, but what's there just looked like a damn dog.
Which leads me to believe
didn't
that
get
it
out
is
of the...
Bigfoot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. It's more likely it's Bigfoot than a werewolf. Fair enough.
woods, he could end up losing his life.
Yeah, that could be a fucking deer at this point.
In April
Right?
2021, a group
I
of
just
friends
saw
were hiking through the
brown
woods
stuff,
at
yeah.
night.
What'd you say, AJ?
I'm saying I couldn't make out anything. It could have been.
No, I was gonna say it was like it looked like a deer almost. It wasn't
But
like
the dude had the survival instincts of a lemming.
Yeah.
yeah. I
When they
mean,
spotted a large humanoid creature in the distance. What they didn't realize, though, was that getting closer to investigate would be a big mistake.
Pra onde ele foi, mano?
Tem que matar, gente.
Cadê ele?
It all went wrong when the werewolf started screaming at them, and by the time they realized they were in danger, it was already too late. The monster was coming, and they had to run for their lives.
Why do they sound too calm to me?
If they had one thing going for them, though, it was that they had guns. And amidst all the panic, they were composed enough to take the shot. What they found after the mayhem, however, was horrific.
Ele ainda continua sangrando.
É, sangrando e fedendo. Pegamos ele.
Esse aí não levanta mais não.
Esse aí não levanta.
The following footage
So, what do we think about that one? We'll go back here.
They were too calm.
Man.
If you see something scary, you were not that collected sounding, especially if it's something you've never seen before in your entire life and it's running at you. I don't care if you have a gun, you're going to freak out.
And we've had
AJ,
clear
what about you?
footage. We've had clear footage all this time until we actually look at the fucking creature. Now it's blurry.
Well, no, I think this dude threw a blur filter over it so YouTube didn't hit him for gore.
Well, is that how a blur filter works? Because the bottom of it looks pretty clear. Wouldn't it be the whole thing that's blurred out?
Well, I mean, if you're in an editing software, you can choose what you want to blur. Because I've done that for my videos and whatnot. Like if I'm like using a tweet and I don't want to show somebody's face or anything like that, like I'll just blur out just that. So yeah, that's why I think that's why this dude was specifically the YouTuber himself is using a blur footage blur. But that's an interesting point. Let's
Well,
where did
also,
it say this is the same place? I see if we can find the original footage because I don't care about showing stuff like this on stream.
Okay, and gunshots wouldn't cause this amount of fucking blood all over the face.
I don't know, man. It sounds like they shot it at least 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, but they would have been body shots, and then it's still as dense as an animal, like a rifle shot. Well, I don't know. These are pistols or whatever still, but I don't know. I don't know shit about guns. I'm just pretty sure this much blood wouldn't be on the face. That look like blunt force.
Look like a medium barrel revolver. I mean, you could be getting some decent punching power.
I'm not finding this original video anywhere. Let me check the description of this video to see if they have anything listed, because I'm not finding the original video.
Yeah, I kind of believe with Bobby on this, even saying everything out of all of it, I think the gunshot sounded the most fake.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, video didn't show the gun go off. We showed the shots, and I'm with Cindy. It sounded like they were acting, and the acting was poor. So yeah. I still think this is fake.
The following footage comes from Argentina, where an Uber driver was filming the streets at 3 in the morning when he heard a strange howl in the distance. But as he followed the noise and got closer, things got scarier.
There.
Ese es el lobizón, mira. Mira.
The howls were coming from a black dog-like creature in the distance. However, there was something strange about it because even though it walked on all fours, its head wasn't normal. The driver had to get closer.
Ese es el lobizón. Me corto la bola ese lobizón. Mira, mira qué feo, mira qué feo, mira.
The closer he got, the worse it got. This wasn't an ordinary dog, and the driver realized that too. He was looking at a real werewolf with a humanoid face.
Mira.
Show the face then.
Yeah, like we're not getting any better looks than this right here. And like, yeah, it does look like it doesn't look like a snout or anything like that. But I mean, I would just chalk this up to as a street dog that got injured. You know,
yeah,
what do you guys?
It looks like a pit bull or a Doberman.
If that face, whatever caused that much skin, I guess, deterioration or whatever on the face, like that could be a thing. That's poor dog. But that is yeah, bro. This is tiny. This is a regular dog. No, it's not.
Like the idea of werewolf. First of all, wolves in general. We mentioned at the beginning of the show. Wolves in general are fucking huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wolves are huge. Yeah.
Like that always cracks me up when people see like a husky and they're like, "Oh, doesn't look just like a wolf." And was like, not even close. Like it looks like a miniature wolf. It looks like a small wolf. But yeah, no. If you've never seen a wolf before and you see a wolf up close, the first thing that you're gonna say is, "Holy shit, that's a big dog," and you'd be wrong because it's a wolf.
Mira. Límite 40. Qué feo que.
And you wouldn't breed it like that, I hope.
Howls of dogs wake up a Brazilian man at night because unlike most other nights, one howl doesn't sound like the others. When he goes out to investigate, however, he realizes the thing he was chasing wasn't a dog at all.
I will say out the gate, this one at least looks like it's moving weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like a human that's trying to crawl but is unable to do it properly.
It's just a drunk.
Well, that would still be moving weird.
Yeah.
Drunk cop. Let me see it again. Go back some.
Yep, go back.
Yeah, it looks like a guy on all fours.
Yeah,
the creature appears to walk on all fours, but there's something off about it, almost as if it's humanoid and is trying to mimic a dog's walk. And just when the man starts getting suspicious, the creature transforms.
Where he got up.
I say, yeah, where he stood.
The man is certain he's seen a werewolf the second it stands on its legs and starts running. And now he has to chase it down to get a clear view because otherwise this monster will haunt the neighborhood forever.
I still fucking on bass dolls, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine
You
going
can't-
to the woods with
You can't
You can see
convince me that
literally
he's.
nothing.
Yeah, you just can't convince me that he's doing this for the sake of the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that, no.
And
He saw
especially
something
on that
weird.
neighborhood. That neighborhood looked busted up, bro. That looks like what happens to Harlem when the CIA traffics drugs into it and give it 10 years.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that neighborhood looked like a cryptid was the least of its issues.
right? I would take my chances with the cryptid over whatever gangs are running that bitch.
You know, that was a cracked.
with your friends for a relaxing
that was good.
vacation, only to spot something so spine-chilling it scars you for life.
I just
Because
got it.
that's exactly what happened to these folks right outside their cabin.
Dude, you see that? No, dude, what? No, dude, you see that? Oh my god. Dude, bro.
They thought a wild dog was approaching them from the woods, but they had no idea what was about to be unleashed upon them. This thing was no mere dog, and the second it stood up, they knew they had to run for their lives.
Bryson, tell me you don't see that. No way. What is that? Ellie, come on.
I'm gonna
In
have to debunk
2009,
this.
Go for it.
Because what would have happened was when he said, Bryson, do you see that? The brother would have instantly saw it before the camera would have hit it. And he would have spoken up before the camera even turned to it. But if you look, he waits. The camera is on him. He waits 3 more beats before finally acknowledging it.
Yeah, to me, this is like a dude in a ghillie suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if we're not going supernatural, like black bears will stand up on their hind legs. Like they will. It's like an intimidation thing. That's why it's
I will
not out of the ordinary.
I will say that the way it was moving its arm was very human-like,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
the way they responded to it was not legit.
It looked like the
People
thing
in
that
Paraguay.
William Shatner sees on the wing of the plane.
Right.
What is
Control
that?
or whatever.
Ellie, come on.
In 2009, people in Paraguay stumbled upon an animal's carcass in the woods. When they walked up to take a closer look, however, they realized this thing wasn't just any animal, the legendary Paraguay beast, the Luizon.
Bro, we had clear fucking cameras in 2009.
Yeah.
Why is this shit so grainy and stuff? Exactly, Wire and Black. This is a fucking pig.
Is it a pig? How does the head get that small, though?
Different breeds of pigs, I guess. I don't know shit about Paraguay.
Well, I mean, like, it could just be a mold or a cast of something, right?
Yeah.
Or it could even be that they went the further route and they butchered a pig, took the head and stuff like that, and then just put it on whatever. Like, there's several ways to do this. It's basically fake.
Yeah, this is incredibly fake.
Yeah, because if that's real,
Manifesting as a giant dog with extended
What were you saying, Sammy?
because if that's real, he's standing awfully close. I mean, like thing's been baking out in the sun for,
Mhm.
Right?
you know, if you were that close to it, it was like in an open stream, you'd be going, "Oh God," you know, it was like no one's just like walking up to that, like, "Oh, well, what could this be?" Like, you're going, "Oh, what the fuck is that?"
Divine Duckworth is correct. I used to have a friend growing up named Candace, and she had a pig. And again, we ain't talking about one of those little like teacup pet ones, not like a big ass fucking pig. And we used to wrestle it. Like it was that thing was so fucking cool. We probably could have really gotten hurt, but whatever. We were young, dumb kids.
front limbs. The Luizon was said to be a mythical creature born as the 7th male child in a family. But everyone's reality was shattered when they saw this myth turn into reality in front of their eyes.
A werepig.
In 2020, a man was streaming on Facebook talking to the audience.
Okay, I've seen this one actually. I'm familiar with this clip. This one's interesting. I don't know what I'll say werewolf, but this is definitely an interesting clip if it's well, I remember it.
When he noticed something strange whizzing past his window. But while he initially thought it could have been an animal, the reality was much more terrifying.
It's a hood wolf.
That's the exact motherfucking spot now. That's my.
No one believed him at first, saying he must have been seeing things, but the man was adamant, so much so that he was willing to put his life at risk and step outside to prove everyone wrong. And that's...
You see that?
All right, go back a look. Go back some.
All right, hold on. We'll go through frame by frame.
He was willing to put his life at risk and step outside to prove everyone...
Okay, there we go. So we'll do this frame by frame.
That's crazy. I
So
can't see
one
no
right
werewolf
here.
in a project like that.
Like this one, I feel like is the most believable that we've seen so far.
And it whizzed by. I mean, that was a few frames. That thing is fast. To be fair, that is fast. Just going frame by frame.
wrong.
It looks tall,
and that's
though.
exactly what he did.
Oh yeah, it looks
Shouldn't
huge.
it be tall?
Huh?
If it's a werewolf, wouldn't it be tall?
It didn't look like it was tall upright. It looked like it was tall on all fours, like a fucking moose.
I mean, what sort of black dude do you know living in a place where they got moose?
I know. I'm saying the body type is more moose than fucking man-like, anthropomorphic-like.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I
No,
said
this
it was.
one's weird. I've seen this one. This one's weird. What were you saying,
Yeah, I would say
Sammy?
this is the most convincing so far.
I don't know how to explain it though.
This is the exact spot that I just...
He thought it was a dog man, but many believe he saw a real werewolf in his backyard.
Well, again, dog man, werewolf, whatever you want to call it. That one I ain't got an explanation for. This is the first one so far. I'm like, yeah, that seems like that might have been something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a
Like,
live stream.
Yeah, it was a live stream, so there was no editing to it exactly. Like, again, just look at the way this thing. Oh, shit. I went too far.
This is the exact spot that I just...
I mean,
All right, go
Yeah,
back
that thing
to
is
yeah.
cruising.
like, that is fast. And, like, it looks like it's on two legs to me. You got, like, the
Yeah.
bend of the knee here.
Like a fucking ostrich though. Now
Real quick, hail to the Raiders.
Oh, we got a raid coming in from who?
It's from Foul Ball.
Hey, shout out. Thanks a mil, Matt. Shout Foul Ball. Truly appreciated. Maybe the ashiest crackhead in America. Yeah,
Man.
no, this is an interesting clip. I don't know if I'm gonna jump to werewolf, but I don't have an explanation for this one. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
bro, it's so bulky up top.
Yeah, it is bulky up top. Like, do you think the werewolves would be more lean?
Yeah.
I mean,
man,
it's awfully lean for being as tall as it is.
the werewolf should be man-like. All fours is an option, or like sure there are those, but I'm saying like that's still like lower to the ground compared to, like I said, a moose. Like this thing looks high up to where I'm not really seeing an elongated body. That's why I said an ostrich. So it's bulky up top with some little tiny things down at the bottom that is moving on.
I would still, take it back to you said moose earlier, ostrich now. I would still take it back to you. How many hood rats live in a place where they just got wild ass ostriches?
Okay,
Like,
agreed. But I was gonna say this. There's some like neighborhood. I forgot where is it? I think it's in Michigan, Detroit. I don't know, but where they still got the horses, and the horses are in the neighborhood, so it could be some. Oh, also in Texas, there are like some safaris, or some people like have wild animals on their property. To where I saw like elk. Elk are not native or not here in Texas,
Hey.
but they have also like gazelle. As well.
There's a
So-
camel place up north that I've seen. There's also, they had ostriches, and I want to say a zebra, but that one was more hearsay than actually saw.
So I'm pretty sure there's a zebra. I know they got the giraffes. It's like a wild, like safari little thing near where I'm at in Texas. And it's disgusting though, because people feed them the corn, they feed them like just shit like that. So the animals look terrible. But still, these animals are being brought and are here in America, just not in great numbers. So yes, you could see a fucking ostrich in the hood that crossed by.
I'm not saying you can't see ostriches in the hood. What I'm saying is I fully believe you're more likely to see a werewolf than an ostrich in the hood. Like, I was a betting boy.
He thought it was a dog man, but many believe he saw a real werewolf in his backyard. The following footage comes from a Sasquatch researcher, Scott Carpenter. And while he's caught several...
Already bullshit.
No, it's even better. Imagine being a Sasquatch researcher and you're like, you're spending your life searching for Bigfoot to the point where you're like annoyed that it's a werewolf. Like, oh, fuck. There's another werewolf. I want a Bigfoot.
Another one. So much so you got other people
during his
calling
excursions. This video he captured in the woods might have been his best work.
Again, it's a nothing burger. I can't. It's a video of a video.
Yeah, why can't you
He was hiding
upload the
behind
real
some
video?
bushes in the woods, looking right at a man.
What do you mean? I can't even see shit in this bit. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's the Sasquatch guys. They're the fucking worst.
Some park ranger trimming some plant.
Yeah, or a toy train. I can't fucking make heads or tails of this.
Massive shadowy figure in front of him. Despite the danger, however, Scott was calm enough to get his camera and record the encounter.
Yeah, but he couldn't keep his hands straight.
This is arguably one of the clearest cryptid videos ever recorded, and with Scott's record, it's likely to be real as well. But the question remains...
What do you mean with his record? He's a fucking Sasquatch researcher. We don't got no proof of goddamn Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Why would you mean with his record?
I know, especially in this day and age.
Yeah, you know, all those documented Sasquatch cases that we have just falling out. They're nothing but blurry video takers. The lot of you.
I hate it. I hate it so goddamn much.
Is this a Sasquatch, a dog man, or worse, a werewolf?
It's nothing. It looks like a pile of dog shit. It doesn't even appear to be moving.
In August 2014, news from Mexico took over social media by storm when it was discovered that a Nahual had been terrorizing a neighborhood in Veracruz.
Oh.
Well, I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
Sammy,
Well, I don't like that because that's just a dog who died in possibly the worst way.
Well, watching Sammy's live streams?
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, Sammy.
Being stuck on barbed wire in the heat of the sun and not being able to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit play. This is rough.
But here's the kicker.
Haber matado a un nahual, y es que las características de este animal no se asemeja a alguno de la zona. Además, conforme pasan los días, en su...
AJ, are those normal teeth for a dog?
Nah, so it was really looking more like a Tasmanian tiger, like a fossa, like some small little predator that's almost cat-like. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I said the fossa. And
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Also, the teeth are gonna look bigger just because the carcass is so dehydrated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
yeah, but the
A
canines
Nahual
long
is
as
a
fuck.
human who has the ability to...
What'd you say, AJ?
I said, yeah, but them canines just long as fuck. So
Yeah,
they
but I'm
do
saying
look
the
really long.
the gums have receded. That's how we
okay.
got the myths that your fingernails and your hair grow after death. It's just moisture's leaving the body and the skin is tightening, and you're essentially becoming a raisin. You know.
So we seeing more of the like the side teeth molars.
Yeah, so you're seeing, you know how like if you look at your teeth, they're all the way, you know, you could see parts of your teeth that's submerged in the gums. When that's retracted, you're gonna see all of that, so they're gonna appear to be huge. That's how we got like legends about like vampirism and things like that about the elongated canines. Is, you know, when your gums start to retract in the carcass, your fangs are gonna look bigger, you know, quote unquote.
Bobby makes a good point. We're meat, so jerky, not raisins.
To shapeshift into an animal, almost like a werewolf. And these residents wouldn't let a monster walk around their neighborhood like that. So these residents wouldn't let a monster walk around.
Pause. Why are you not pausing? Motherfucker, you two being retarded.
Shift into an animal, almost like a werewolf.
See the line where the gums actually were.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't realize the teeth were that long under that shit. That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
And these residents wouldn't let a monster walk around their neighborhood like that. So they took action and attacked it before it could attack them.
Once again,
San Andrés
you
Tuxtla
cannot
y
convince me of
Catemaco
the sake of the
son
neighborhood.
municipios rodeados de misticismo,
Right.
lugares de brujos, donde el bien y el mal juegan un papel
The creature looked like a messed up dog, but they were sure it was a Nahual because of its fangs and its dark fur. And to solidify their
channel of the devil. It was like, oh, how are we gonna do this? Let's do a mural to Baphomet. That'll
They thought they was releasing the big Cerberus and his little terrier came out.
Look, people ask us about Australia all the time. I feel like we leave South America out of this too much when we ask, do we really need this place? Like do we really need it?
Yeah.
South America, yes. Rainforest.
But
yeah, that's true.
Rainforest.
Not the people, though.
Yeah, not the people.
claim even further, they found a ritual site nearby.
Sin embargo, brujos afirman que es imposible que en estos tiempos en la zona existan nahuales. El último existió en Catemaco hace más de 50 años.
Over the years, people in Paraguay have reported strange sightings of a creature.
Have you noticed how many of these have been in Paraguay?
Yeah, there's been a shit ton in Paraguay. There's been at least 4 in Paraguay.
It's gotta be because they're like all broken shit. So even though it's the 2000s, they can only afford phones from like 1999, and that's why we've got all this fucking grainy ass footage.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I filmed on a Motorola Razr.
I don't know who gets the like leftover the jerseys of the team that don't win, but they also get like the technology, like the failed prototypes and shit.
I was not expecting a reference like that at you, AJ. That was legitimately funny.
That emerges in the night and wreaks havoc near the woods. What these folks experienced in 2018, however, was the worst reported incident yet.
That looked like a bear. The way it got up was like a bear.
What initially looked like a hybrid between a dog and a bear quickly transformed into a monster. The people filming couldn't believe their eyes, but the more this thing moved, the more certain they got. They'd just stumbled upon a werewolf.
They would have ran.
That's the dinosaur off the new Jurassic World movie.
Yeah, just a fucking conglomeration of shit that nobody wants to see.
Yeah, the mom stand up like a gorilla. Yes. And like a drunk ass bear the way you trying to get up.
At this point, they knew they couldn't run because this thing...
That's a terrible costume. Or a puppet thing. And ain't no kid. This sound like a kid. Ain't no kid finna be brave enough to sit here and
no way.
Motherfucker doing all that.
Yeah, that looks weird, not quite right. Yeah, I have filmed on a Motorola Glazer.
The Glazer.
I will keep going.
At this point, they knew they couldn't run because this thing looked fast and ferocious.
No,
all they could do was try to calm the beast down and pray for their lives. And just when they thought they were in the clear, the monster started walking. This footage comes from Woodstock, Georgia, where a man ventured into the woods with his dog, hoping for some quiet time. What he didn't realize, though, was that he was actually walking straight into mortal danger.
I saw it through the window.
Okay, well, that doesn't sound like he's going for just like a nice walk with his dog, man.
Show.
His dog started acting erratically and barking at something out of nowhere, almost as if it had seen something. The man knew something was up.
Probably a fucking squirrel. You're in the woods.
It very well did. It's in the fucking woods. Like, that's where you see things.
Are we in Paraguay?
Yeah.
No, this one seems like America.
Yeah.
But it may as well be.
But while he should have just left the area, he made the mistake of following his dog deeper into the woods.
Whoa.
Yep, I'm going back.
Whoa.
That shit appeared.
This right here, and then it moves, but it gets all blurry. Okay, this is nothing. This is nothing.
That was an elk that was already running, and you just didn't notice it.
Speaking of dogs acting strange, this man was woken up at night by his dog's constant barking. When he went outside to take a look, however, he realized an intruder had just emerged from the woods, and it wasn't human. The thing hiding in the shadows looked like a white wolf at first, but things got really scary when it started morphing right in front of the man's eyes. He couldn't believe what he was seeing, but then it stood up.
Literally be anything.
On May 25th, 2019.
These are pissing me off so much.
Yeah, that was.
AJ, how are you handling this? These are your people, man.
Yeah,
not my people. That shit like a Pennywise antique.
The number one video is going to be us interviewing AJ.
Look, man, they're not catching us on no camera, especially with quality like this.
Yeah, you guys are.
And we're gonna hear y'all before. There's none of this stumble up on us shit. That's.
Family in Brazil was about to go to bed when they heard a loud howl behind their house that didn't sound anything like a dog. Thinking it was a wolf, they got the camera and started filming through the window.
You clean your fucking windows.
Why did that sound more human than man, or like animal?
That sounded like
they could see the creature slowly approaching through the bushes, but the scary thing was, this beast looked bigger than any animal they'd seen. And as it continued to emerge into the light,
That's a person.
It's right. It's the fucking costume.
Like I said, that howl was definitely in post. Like, it was like, oh, you got all those wolves howling in the studio for you. It's like a studio audio howl on a video that looks like shit like this, and then you got the howl perfect. All right, cool, got it.
What were you saying, AJ?
The movements were just like so human like mimicking.
Yeah. No, this is bad haunted house acting.
Bro, at this point, number one just better be a fucking Warren Zevon music video. Like,
yeah, I agree.
the terrifying reality also started to settle in. This thing wasn't a dog or a wolf. It wasn't human either. No, it had a dog-like face with a humanoid face. At this point, there was no doubt. There was a werewolf living in their backyard.
It looks like in Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
Imagine getting a knock on the door, deep.
The bat wolf thing in Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, or
It looked like who is it? Razor from the Ninja Turtle.
yes. Oh, yeah. I get Razor. Yes.
Someone somewhere saw that and they were terrified and they thought it was plausible. I just know it.
And they were either 12 or a woman.
Or
into the night.
Paraguay hasn't slept in like 3 days after he saw that.
And going downstairs to check, only to realize the thing that's outside is not even human. Sounds terrifying? Well, that's exactly what happened to this person.
That's just a hobo.
Freddy Fazbear.
As he went downstairs with his camera, he started hearing low growls outside his window, and one look was enough to confirm his suspicions. The glowing eyes, the dog ears, and the strange stance, this was a dog man.
No, it wasn't.
This is your first conclusion, eh?
Yeah, some weirdo in the
dog man, real quick.
Parking garage.
And by dog man, they mean those fucking weird ass military dudes who put on the fucking dog fetish gear and approach children. And then,
that's just a small one. So that means that's a chick. It's a little dirty chick.
It's William Afton.
Oh no.
The creature kept knocking despite being spotted and wouldn't go away. But the way it stared at the man was the real scary part. In 2010, a bunch of friends were hanging out near the Bella Vista waterfront in Argentina having a couple of beers in the early morning hours, when they were abruptly interrupted by something emerging from the dark.
¿Podemos contar? ¿Eh? ¿Qué onda?
¿Qué onda?
¿Mañana qué?
South America.
Uy, loco,
It was dark.
Well, also, I'm always skeptical of these that are like, oh, we're just fucking filming us walking down the road. Who the fuck does that?
And especially when you already know that your camera on your phone is shit. You're not going to be like, oh, hold on, let me get the majesty of this walk that we're going on. It's like a pixelated mess. Also, another thing that I like to add was like some friends sharing some beers in the early hours of the morning. I was like, that's code for shit face. So these guys were shit faced walking across a bridge.
I know I'm not going to remember this tomorrow, so I want to record it so I can remember in 144p the rest of my life. Like,
in case I lose my keys.
Yeah, the type of phones that had that quality of a camera didn't have the space to where we were just walking around recording shit like a live stream.
You were like, oh, I got 30 pictures on here. I got to delete some shit.
So they thought this shadowy creature was just a stray dog trying to cross the bridge. The second it started to move, however, they realized they were in danger because this wasn't just any animal. This was a cryptid.
Wait, then you let it cross the damn bridge.
Uy, loco, pará. ¿Dónde?
It's just a dog.
In 2022, a family heard a
2022, and this is the camera footage. Bull shit.
Even the poor's got ring cams.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, how bad is the technology there, or like, how do they still have streamers there with that kind of quality?
No, dude. You've seen TikToks from like all around the world. Everyone's got at least 1080p at this point. Okay, even 720 would be fine. This is grainy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you gave like some dudes in Uganda a fucking iPhone 4, they'd be like, "The fuck is this? It only goes to 720p." Like,
yeah, like there's people in Uganda who like film movies on iPhones, and like they're garbage. They're really funny to watch, and it seems like they're having a great time making them. And they know that they look. The definition is much better. Like it's insane. This is
owl outside their home and got notified by their security camera about an unwanted visitor. They checked the footage, thinking it was a stray dog, but it quickly became clear that they were wrong.
Why?
AJ, you are our expert on both dogs and werewolves. In your professional opinion, which is this?
Man, let me see it again. Cause
all right, we'll run it back.
The movements look weird, but the quality of the puppet is pretty good.
But it quickly became clear that they were wrong. A wolf's head emerged from the bushes in front of their door, but there was something off about the way it moved, almost as if it didn't have a wolf's body. And soon after, the creature moved and revealed itself.
Subscribe for more paranormal content.
I want to punch this man.
This
they used the same soundbite.
That was purposeful. That was annoying. He was trolling us the whole time he was doing that sniffing.
You knew your buddy had a security camera, and you're like, you know what?
Yeah, Jay Martin is correct. Subscribe to D's nuts.
Yeah.
This was a werewolf, and the closer they looked, the clearer it became. This thing had humanoid...
This whole video has been put in the where in werewolf, as in where the fuck are the werewolves?
Characteristics, and it was itching to break into their home and possibly attack them. This video comes from Bladenboro, North Carolina, where a man was driving through the woods at night. As he returned home and started preparing to park his car, he realized he wasn't alone in
the fursuit.
Yep.
Yep.
Caught him yipping.
What?
Caught him yipping.
Is that a real thing?
Area.
Yes.
Their code word for sex.
Yipping. Oh, shit.
It turns out a creature had been sitting in the woods right next to his house.
You know what? This has been the first accurate one so far because furries are in fact creatures.
Yes.
It's true.
It was walking real
But the-
horrid. Like a
Or
horse.
he looked at his dash cam footage,
Yes.
the scarier it got. After all, this thing was bipedal and had dog-like.
Have y'all seen those videos where the people would like find crackheads like doing oral sex in their backyard, so they like shooting them with paintballs and shit?
Yeah. Those I love those.
Like
Good
that,
man
like-
out here asking the real questions though. First of all, I didn't thank him for this other super sticker earlier, so thank you so much, homie. But then he says for a 2-banger, yo, Dax, what's going on with your people, bro?
Yeah.
Like,
It was like
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
me
the
when none of
fuzz
these
is
videos are
scatter,
real.
guys.
Dax, he right though. Control your fucking people.
Yeah, come on.
features, which could only mean one thing: a werewolf.
the only thing you can do. And then
The following footage comes
What do you guys think is more likely to exist? Werewolves or a furry that isn't a pedophile?
Werewolves.
Oh yeah, werewolf.
No, because I don't think Daxie is a
Yeah, I don't
pedophile.
think Dax is a pedophile, but I mean,
I feel like Dax. I can't call Dax a furry because I've never actually seen him
It's
go
just
like full
fun to
fur
say.
affinity, full fursuit, things like that. Well, even if he is, there's the exception to every rule.
yeah, I was like,
Sorry, Dax.
from Corrientes, Argentina, where local residents claim to have shot down a werewolf in broad daylight. And just to make sure no one could argue,
We got D-Day Direwolf in the chat. D-Day Direwolf is more likely to be a werewolf than anything we've seen in these
Agreed.
fucking videos.
AJ, you gotta
against their claim, they filmed the beast for everyone to see as well.
Okay. That doesn't look like you just shot it, dude.
Yeah.
With his humanoid body and wolf-like head, there was no doubt they'd just taken down a werewolf. But that's where things got really scary, because once they zoomed in on its mouth, they realized how lucky they were to make it out alive.
Oh, shut up.
It looks like a horse.
It does. It
Yeah,
looks like
I'm
that
not even
horse has
seeing
been
anything
dead
like
for a while.
dog-like.
Many still think
There's
this
nothing
werewolf
dog-like,
was
and
fake,
also-
but the residents are
there's
convinced they
maggots all
were
over
right.
it. You
In
didn't just shoot
2021,
Yeah. He even said people online, this is fake because it's fucking fake.
Because it's fake. You found a dead horse. Congrats.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
looked
know, probably
more-
creepy.
It looked more pig-like than that last thing that we saw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could've
everyone
been
in our chat's like,
more.
yeah, that doesn't even look like a fucking dog. Like, let alone a werewolf, didn't even look like a dog.
a man was out for a hike in the woods when he spotted a dark figure walking through the trees ahead of him. But while most people would have left the area, the man mustered up the courage to get close.
All right, AJ, werewolf lore question time. Do werewolves change during the daylight hours at all, or is it only at night?
That's why I said it depends on the wolf. When time comes, man, it's you control them powers, you do it whenever.
So there's
So
like
you
no
get it.
limitations though. It's not like the opposite of Superman. Like, oh, sun is up, I'm stronger.
He's still strong as fuck at night though, because he still absorbed moon rays outside of just a full moon. On a full moon, that's when it's a more forced transformation. But in the daytime, some can do this, but they wouldn't be terrible at their job and be getting caught on shitty cameras like this.
That is true. I mean, it'd be
You
one
know,
that
actually, I think it's a conspiracy. It was like, hey, only let them catch you on shitty cameras.
being a breakfast werewolf would suck ass. All right, let's keep going.
And record it. This creature was unlike anything he'd seen before. It had a wolf's head, but it walked around like a human. It had to be a dog man. But with the man standing so close to the beast, a slight movement was all it'd take for it to notice him.
Am I not seeing it on his like arms, like an ape?
Yeah,
I thought this was like a fucking ape. Exactly. I 100% thought this was like, oh, this is an ape. Which, by the way, if it is an ape, you're still retarded for being that close to the camera, bro.
Yeah,
apes can rip you in goddamn half. Like, all right, Cindy got to go. We have like 7 minutes left of this video, and then we'll round out the stream as well. But Cindy, go ahead and tell the people who you are, what you do, where they can find you, mods, drop her links, the whole nine. You know what to do.
Well, hey there, guys. I'm Cinevere. You guys can find me on all platforms as Cinevere. I will be streaming later tonight, Midnight Sin. I will warn you guys now, my throat's been hurting since yesterday, so I do not know if I will be streaming tomorrow. So we'll find out. But yeah, you cuties have a great rest of your night. I hope to see you later and have a good one.
Catch you later, gorgeous. You have a good rest of your night.
Yeah.
Finally, a real werewolf. In fact, one that knows karate. We got ourselves a black belt werewolf in here. And AJ does jujitsu, so I want to see these two fight. I want to see our boy Abomination AJ fight karate werewolf, and we'll see what wins out, jujitsu or karate. I don't even. AJ's like, fuck this, I'm out. No more big titty white women / half Asian women. I'm out. All right, let's get through this last 7 minutes, guys. Oh, AJ said BRP in the chat.
In 2023, a man living in the woods had one of the worst moments of his life.
Sammy, does that sentence bother you? Just a man living in the woods. Like, oh, this is the guy I'm going to believe.
Yeah, no, all of this bugs me. I don't like whoever compiled this video. Just the way that they describe things is bombastic, where it was like, clearly had to be a dog man. No other explanation. But yes, a guy living in the woods. You're like, totally credible.
I'm trying to decide what stocks I should invest in to get rich quick. Who should I ask? Oh, the man living in the woods. Like,
life when a creature kept showing up at his house and stalking his family. However, things really went south when the thing decided to climb up his roof.
Oh, damn.
I've seen this video where they get werewolf. If anything, if this is real, it's an alien, not a werewolf.
Yeah, it's a raccoon.
Holy shit. All right. Oh, bitch is one on the other side of the house.
I'm going to make some moonshine to this.
The thing had glowing eyes, and it had been terrorizing him for days, despite him firing several warning shots at it. However, things got terrifying when he got a clearer look and realized he was dealing with a Sasquatch or a dogman.
What the hell? Where'd it go? What is that?
That doesn't.
What do you mean, what is that? It's Spirit Halloween bones.
Yeah, I was going to say, it does appear to be a carcass of some sort, sure.
Not even a real carcass. What was that, AJ?
That's the little baby thing on the alien. It come out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like a face hugger. Which, by the way, if that's on your day's about to get
way worse
much
than a werewolf.
Yeah,
I would much rather die by werewolf than face hugger.
I agree.
No idea how to deal with the situation, and all he could do was film the creature to call for help. But as soon as he walked to the other side of the house to film the creature again, he stumbled upon something even scarier.
All he could
the following
do is film the creature to call for help. Make it make sense.
I feel like this dude was like, ChatGPT, write me a script, and like 10 minutes in, ChatGPT is like, dude, fuck it, I give up. I'm done. Ask Grok. Like,
none of these videos are real. You got ChatGPT making fun of you. All he could do was keep taking video to call for help. You know, heaven forbid, maybe stop recording and dial 911 on that nickel phone.
Those are certainly words that fit together in a sentence. Yes.
Yes. All of those words I understood to be English. It's just the order of them I find baffling.
Does Bruno Mars is gay?
footage comes from Mexico, where a man was going through the security camera alerts on his phone when one footage caught his eye. There was something off about this video because initially it looked like nothing was actually moving. Just when he thought this could have been an insect accidentally triggering his camera, however, it appeared. A shadowy humanoid creature with bowed legs and a dog-like face casually walked.
All right, AJ, professional opinion.
I don't know, man. That shit look more like a bird person. Like the lower body is real fat, but the legs is skinny. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. And like to me, I'm thinking of like a cartoonish drawing of a witch. It's like kind of came to life.
It looks like
in the street in front of his house.
It's a dude.
It's a dude. Nah, I don't know, man. The legs are real skinny and yeah, like it looks like hunched over like that, like a chicken body, but not quite ostrich. Something in the middle, like emu.
The camera's at a weird angle. It's a dude with skinny legs.
My Kyle says maybe identified as a werewolf.
Maybe.
A werewolf would have been a better option.
Yeah.
This thing look like a combustion. You know who I'm talking about, right, Leon?
It does look like a combustion, a black combustion.
Yeah, it's a chicken bird. This is
He
a different
was certain
cryptid.
he'd just seen a nowl.
A nowl?
That's like the way a werewolf will walk home after he strikes out of the bars. Like, oh, werewolf pussy tonight.
Actually,
Like,
when you see it go by, it might actually be a fucking ostrich this time. Like,
wait, really? Hold on, we'll roll it back.
Well, I said emu.
Like, I got that long neck.
In 2018, a man set up a hunting camera right next to a railroad trail to capture.
We are 23 minutes in, and this is the cleanest shot we've seen so far.
It's gonna be bullshit. It's gonna be
The wildlife and see if he could spot anything he could hunt. However, what he captured was something he wouldn't have anticipated in his wildest dreams.
It's a fox.
I feel like I'm being trolled.
A wolf's
man.
head popped out
Yeah,
of.
dude. Clearly,
wanna
it
know
was
what's
a
crazy?
dog man.
You want to know what's crazy? I was looking for ages to try and find convincing werewolf videos. This was the best video I could find.
Look, I was looking for the same shit because after you did your like reacting to is the ghost real, I was like, shit, I need a werewolf video. I couldn't find nothing.
I couldn't find anything, dude.
I'm gonna
The
give
tall
you the
grass
benefit of the doubt
initially.
and just say they're too smart and too cunning to get filmed.
Right.
That's what I said, right?
Which was promising for the man's hunting prospects. But little did he know that this creature had a lot more going on than just a wolf's head, because right underneath that was a humanoid body.
Then show it.
How do we know?
Well, that obviously that solves everything. That was a
The
fox.
following
That was a curious fox. So it was like, okay,
This whack-a-mole ass shit.
This is swiper, no swiping. Don't take my camera. Like,
Yeah, bro. And then it just did that and went down. Like an animal would have started sniffing.
the werewolf mafia is censoring YouTube.
Yeah.
Videos are worse than you. Yeah, here he is. He's back. All right, Karate Werewolf is back. AJ, we found a challenger for you. We're gonna get you in the octagon with Karate Werewolf. Your jiu-jitsu versus his karate.
Yes.
Who do you think wins?
I'm an MMA werewolf.
Oh shit.
I'm winning. What are you talking about?
You grappling.
Karate Werewolf, you gonna take on that challenge? Our boy Abomination AJ, King of the Werewolves, can come for you.
Yep.
I'll take bets. I'll count.
In
Let's
our
do it.
in our werewolf form, so pack rules apply.
And bring a shitty camera. So
Footage comes from Paraíba, Brazil, where residents heard loud barking deep into the night. However, as they got near the windows to check, the noise turned into what can only be described as nightmare fuel. An incredibly loud howl pierced through all the dog barks.
Oh, it was a super chat. The only answer is John Talbane. Shout out. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate you, Bio T Wolf. Thank you. Another wolf in the chat. I just heard me, Bio T Wolf. Another wolf in chat.
Harder, Leon, harder.
My werewolf brethren, I was entertaining the conversation. We will not let the white man pit us against one another.
Oh,
Since he'll
come
bring
on.
his
One more
dog
time.
flip phone. One more time, what?
We're gonna let the white man put them against one another. Just
Oh, you were responding to AJ. I thought you meant like
Yeah.
roll the video back. My bad.
Sending
No.
shivers down everyone's spines. It almost sounded like a siren, which meant this thing wasn't even a wolf.
Also,
At
does this
which
guy
point
live
the
in, like,
people were convinced they had a werewolf
abandoned
among
cowboy town? Like
them. Many thought a wolf could have made this noise, but the residents were convinced they'd heard nothing like it before. Besides,
It just sounded like a fucking howl, dude.
It was just a K9 howl.
You say it was a canine howl? So that's what a dog
Yeah.
sound like? I've never really heard dogs howl, to be fair.
yeah. I mean,
I'm not
they
saying they
do.
don't. I just like because I didn't grow up owning dogs or anything, and the dog I have now doesn't howl. She whines and she barks, but she doesn't howl.
I feel like you might have stumbled across a YouTube video of dog howling though. It's pretty common.
yeah.
No.
Especially,
What I mean is,
especially
like,
huskies.
in real life,
Huskies
I've
are
never heard it. I
incredibly
know
vocal
dogs do howl. I'm just saying, like,
Oh.
I've never like in real life, I've never been around a dog that howls.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, there's dogs. My buddy's dog. If you just start going around it, he'll start howling with you. You know, it's fun.
I mean, my cat meows at me. We meow back and forth. That's nice. It's like,
the dog sounded strange too, giving even more credence to the fact that a werewolf had just walked into their territory.
let's pretend it's not dog though. Let's for a moment pretend it's not dog.
Uh-huh.
These dogs are barking, then howling happens. Why are we jumping to werewolf when it could just be a wolf?
Or yeah, a coyote.
A coyote.
Yeah, a
Definitely
coyote.
a coyote.
Like
Yeah, dude.
anything that is
We
normal
get
to
coyotes out
see-
by me. My dog goes fucking ballistic if there's a coyote like in the vicinity of my yard. Like he goes nuts.
They have a lighter voice, coyotes, but I
Yeah,
mean,
they do.
Coy wolves are a thing. So I mean, coy dogs. So I just made
No,
them
I
up.
understand. No, I understand that coyotes don't sound like that. I'm saying dogs go nuts when there's a coyote.
In 2019, a Brazilian farm owner had one of the strangest experiences of his life when he kept waking up to dead animals. But when he installed cameras to monitor the situation, he realized an ordinary predator wasn't attacking his animals.
What do you mean? I keep waking up to dead animals, so I'm going to install this camera in front of a bunch of fucking bushes.
Yep.
Not showing my animals, not watching my animals.
I'm looking for animals, guys.
His worst fear became reality as he witnessed a massive creature with a wolf's head emerging from the bushes. And while this
That wouldn't be my worst fear. I'm not saying it's like not fear at all, but that wouldn't be my worst fear. My worst fear would be like if Bernie Sanders popped out of the fucking bush.
Yeah.
Or a shack-sized
We need
homosexual.
you to pay more taxes to give the werewolves a fair shake. Werewolf equality.
It's pretty good, actually.
Thank you. I've never really done a Bernie Sanders before. I was just sort of off the top.
That was good off the top. I like it. Yeah, no,
thing's
that
howl was
not my worst fear either. That would be a very long list that was like, oh my god, that there might be predators in this wooded area. If you don't suspect that to begin with, I don't know how to help you. Maybe get a gate or a fence to keep said predators out.
Invest in a barbed wire fence. We saw in a previous video. It turns out those are quite useful.
Yeah.
The canine killer.
terrifying. The growl is what really cemented it as a creature straight out of hell.
Oh my God, I'm starting to think that werewolves might not be real. This is unfortunate.
No, it's
This
a werewolf.
This video is single-handedly ruining the internet's and the world's belief in werewolves.
It's a werewolf psyop. This is a video designed by werewolves to make
Oh
people
my
think.
God, werewolves are playing 4D chess.
Yes.
It's not for y'all to believe that we real.
Yeah, no. See, look at him. Look at him. He won't admit or deny.
Yeah, it's full disclosure, guys.
Look how straight faced he is.
AJ actually sent me this video. He's like, "This would be a great video to show on your channel to prove werewolves exist."
Yeah. Oh, it's the same howl.
The farmer's dogs were going crazy after seeing the creature, but they were no match for it. This thing was big, and the farmer had only one explanation. A werewolf was stalking him. While being stuck inside your house because of a monster is already bad enough, this trucker had it even worse because, according to him, he was...
Okay, that was a little interesting. I don't know if I'm going to jump to werewolf, but that was cool.
Maybe wolf.
Bio team up for a two-banger. Werewolves are real, and we're hiding from the furries. You know what? I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that werewolves don't want to mingle with furries. You know what furries need to do? Furries need to...
Pretty bad enough. This trucker had it even worse because...
Like, that's a cool effect. I like that.
Yeah.
According to him, he was trapped in his truck for several hours because of a creature that had shown up outside the window.
Yeah, it's a wolf.
The creature, which the trucker claims was a werewolf, refused to leave the area despite his best efforts. In fact, it kept peeking in through the...
What do you mean your best efforts? Is the trucker going out, wolf? Out here, werewolf.
Yeah, honk
God,
the
deliver
horn.
my goods.
Honk the horn.
Man, that face
Do
did look
something.
animal-like, but it looked more like a puma.
Yeah, okay. Either way.
It was a short face with some cat
That
eyes.
brings up an interesting point, AJ. As our resident werewolf, do other animals have were as well? Like, are there were pumas? Are there like were gators?
Yeah, they do. I smell them, but we don't mingle.
You know,
Yeah,
okay,
no.
fair enough.
Also, I'm saying if we're talking about the werewolves that we've been discussing most of the time, I don't think that locked truck door is really gonna like hold them back. It was like that little thin piece of glass is gonna do anything. That was an actual animal. It was curious. Probably was hungry. You know, maybe pee in a Gatorade bottle or start the truck up and drive away. I don't know. There's a couple of things you could have done. I don't think he was doing his best to shoo the animal away. And I don't think it was a werewolf.
While talking about all like these were creatures and whatnot, AJ, I know you're familiar with Sonic the Hedgehog, at least. Sammy, I know you are as well. So you're familiar with the concept of the werehog?
Yes.
So did you know that Sonic is already a werehog? Because the were in werewolf is just Latin for human, so it's human wolf. So werehog would be human hog, and Sonic is already an anthropomorphic hedgehog, so he's already a werehog, technically.
I mean, he's a were-hedgehog. I don't like the hedge being taken off because a werehog
Okay,
is
fair enough.
actual
A
fucking...
were-hedgehog? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he should be a fucking walking boar.
Almost as if it wanted to get inside and attack the poor trucker.
Probably fucking did. Okay, it's a wild animal.
In 2019, a couple of friends were hanging out in their neighborhood, fooling around with each other, when a creature sitting across...
That's not YouTube appropriate.
Yeah, that's a...
We might not be breaking some TOS.
I missed it. Titties?
No,
no, we're not there yet. Keep your red rocket in your pants.
Across the street quickly brought their fun to a halt.
All right, where people...
From a distance, it looked like a monkey or...
So obviously a werewolf. You already said it looked like a monkey.
Does this look like a monkey to anybody else?
No, I need to see it move.
Or a stray dog, but there was something off.
Or a stray dog.
I'm always mixing those two up. Like, you know, like whenever like I come home and my dog's like darting at me to greet me. I was like, is that a monkey?
Yeah, the other day I was actually walking downtown and I saw someone putting up posters. I was like, holy fuck, you're missing your monkey spot? Like,
about the way it was sitting. And while they decided to walk towards it for a closer look, they quickly realized they'd made a big mistake.
Okay, the way it adjusts itself is kind of creepy. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But I'm still not getting monkey or dog, which are so easily confused.
The following footage comes from Fresno, California, where a man
Break out the banana. If it comes at you, it's a monkey.
was setting up his camp to relax and reconnect with nature. Little did he know, however, that he'd just walked into very dangerous territory.
Shape up there. The hell is that? Oh, God.
That's a mountain goat.
He could see a dark brown figure.
And you're not even joking. Like, that's probably actually a mountain goat. Yes.
Yeah.
Let me see that close up.
And then shout out Girly Banana for sending another super sticker. Thank you so much, brother. Alrighty, let's keep going.
Jumping across the
Actually,
field.
hold on. Girly Banana had a 2-banger. Kind of looked like a drunk Kata.
Shut up, bitch!
That's what Kata would say if he were here. I, on the other hand, live for Kata slander, so keep it up.
In front of him, and for a second he couldn't believe what he was seeing. But as the creature kept moving, the reality started to set in too. This was no animal.
Shape up there.
It's clearly a fucking animal.
Now, that begs the question, though. Aren't werewolves, wouldn't they still technically be animals?
No.
Yeah.
Well, humans are even animals, though, technically. So why wouldn't a werewolf be an animal?
Sure, but it's supernatural. We're better than humans. It's some greater than human and animal together.
I don't know, like, but what? Yeah, you're supernatural, but what would you be? Like, wouldn't you still have to have some sort of scientific classification?
Yeah. So I mean, sure, it is still an animal, but it's more than an animal at the same time.
Regardless, this is a goat.
It's not a goat because when it jumped down, it looked like the feet went first, and then the forearms came afterward.
Well, yeah, but isn't that how mountain goats do it? They they hop like a fucking bunny.
No, front legs hit the ground first.
No, they're astoundingly good climbers, and they can even jump like it almost looks vertical. Or I mean, yeah, it is vertical.
Maybe we'll
but
see it again. Maybe we'll play it again.
How is that?
They don't land on the hind feet.
God.
That's very.
This was a Sasquatch. Many refused to believe him, but he was adamant he'd just seen a Sasquatch or a dog
all
man.
All of these, when they say it's a Sasquatch, it's immediately bullshit. And all of these, it was like this was supposed to be about werewolves. So we had what 20 videos was on that 20 or 30
videos.
Okay, nine or actually I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna say 15 of them they said it was either a Sasquatch or a dog man. No werewolves.
29 of them were bullshit, and there was that one of the black dude in his backyard. We're all like, okay, hold on, what the fuck is that?
Okay, yeah.
We still weren't even convinced it was a werewolf. We just weren't sure what it was.
Werewolves ain't getting caught on camera. That's it. That's all.
Guys,
no, you're not catching wolf.
Yeah, no, we're here at the end of the stream. It's time to round it out. It's time to say our goodbyes. I'm going to set up a raid. I'm going to be on Suns and Shadows in 50 minutes, so I'll go ahead and set up the raid for them, to be nice and whatnot. While we do that, let's do some outros. Or AJ, when are you going live? Because that way people don't want to wait an hour. If you're going live almost immediately, I'll raid you.
No, I'm going at like 10:15, 10:30.
Okay.
So just come back, people. Abomination AJ.
Yeah, just come back.
Be there for Tighten Up Tuesday. Leon might come. We're talking Nintendo and Sonic. I don't know what you have to do though, but you're invited.
Yeah, I'll be on Suns and Shadows at 10. I imagine that can't go longer, like an hour and a half, I would imagine. So depending on how everything is looking for video stuff tomorrow, I would love to drop by. That being said, what about you, Sammy? What you got coming up?
Nothing. Just like my regular old schedule. Like I said, I might be changing when I do the news, I might be having a schedule change, but that's nothing set in stone yet. But I'm working that out because, well, you know, it's just time for a change, you know, and it's not like I'm married to having it at Sunday night at 9. So I will definitely keep you all posted.
That works for me. Guys, as for me, you all know the drill. I do videos every day. I do streams every day. I put out a video today that's doing really goddamn good. So it's about the ongoing controversy with the new Viz Media half-black racist manga. It's a wild scenario, but it's one that I did a deep dive on. And I mean deep dive. We go into like Japanese DEI corporation investment firms. It's kind of crazy. So if you not watched today's video, check it out. Tomorrow, we'll be doing the lunch hour stream, as always. I got to find Suns and Shadows real quick so I can actually set up this raid because I'm not seeing them here. Maybe they don't allow raid. There's no way, right? They got to allow raids. Well, there we go. Here it is. Yeah, Suns and Shadows. We're going to be reviewing Army of Darkness, my favorite movie of all time, tied with Raiders of the Lost Ark. So that's what we're doing for the Halloween season. Army of Darkness review in 50 minutes. So that being said, check out the videos, check out the streams. Truly appreciate all of you guys who super chatted, sent memberships. If you got to give it a membership, join the Discord. And I'll see y'all in flip flops. Until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. And this has been Words of Paradise.